of the Minds Matter tour on my way to the Crow's Nest Pass. It's a beautiful day out. Slight headwind, but not too much traffic on the road. Nice smooth shoulder. Got all loaded up this morning with all my camping gear, which took quite a while. Thanks to Larissa for looking after me yesterday and hauling a lot of my stuff down to Maycroft Provincial Park. So yeah, this is going to be fun. Looking forward to getting to Waterton here late afternoon, early evening. Thunderstorm launched out for some other parts of Alberta. Looks like they're here for now. Fingers crossed. Riding into Medicine Hat to see Corey and Dave. Almost there. It's been a really hot day. Been drinking a ton of water. Lots of stops along the way just to get more water. Just drank about, I don't know, 15 liters of water today. Hey! It's Corey and Dave! From the National Kids Cancer Ride. Hey guys. Long time no see. Congratulations. Hello from the road. It's day 5 of the Minds Matter tour. Today heading from, I apologize, the footage is going to be shaky. We're in Saskatchewan and the roads are a little bumpy. But anyways, been riding from Medicine Hat all day. Just passed through a little town called Burstall back about 45 minutes ago. You can see the remnants of a pretty nasty thunderstorm that went just to the north of here, so I was kind of paying close attention to that. Ready to take some shelter in an old abandoned barn if need be, but I'd like to clear sailing here for a little bit, hopefully. Weather's a little unstable today though, so just gonna have to be careful. Alright. The wind is just howling right now. After that storm last week, you can see there's still much on the outlook. Oh, good morning from the Minds Matter tour, day 6. On my way to Elbow. It's a long way. Had to stop last night because of severe thunderstorm activity. So stopped in Leader, just crossing the beautiful South Saskatchewan. It's just surreal with the clouds and the water this morning. So on my way to hopefully meet up with Tom and Jane, great people in Elbow, Saskatchewan, and also Jane and Dave to start doing a bit of riding with them. So super excited about today, and yeah, it's just great fundraising for the Alberta Children's Hospital Foundation, Child and Adolescent Mental Health, and also the Ronald McDonald Health Charities of Saskatchewan for the Prince Albert family room at the Victoria Hospital. So it's going to be a fun day. Talk to you later. I made it to Etonia. I was hoping to get in here last night, but because of the severe thunderstorm activity happening, I am sure glad I stayed in later. Dry roof. It's called the Oasis Town. There's supposed to be a hotel here called the Oasis Motel. I tried calling the number, but just kept getting through to the wrong person. Wow, there is a motel here. It's called the Tony Oasis. There it is right there. Amazing. It must be closed up for the season or something. Day 7. Say hi to Jade. And we're having fun on the headwind. We're on our way to Saskatoon. North of Saskatoon to Ross Fair tonight. We're going to ride with Jane for a bit. Jane's boyfriend Dave later on. So, anyway, we're having fun. Even though our bums are sore. It's a pretty tough sort of headwind, crosswind to ride into today. So I want to say a big thanks to Jane for pulling up and drafting behind her just while they're there. It's pretty exhausting. So anyway, it's a lifesaver. So we're here in Saskatoon. Dave and I were on our way to Rosthern, and we're just looking at the black sky, and it's looking a little ominous, so we might have to duck for cover under a bridge or something. the last day of the Minds Matter ride. Also doing some fundraising for the family room here. Ronald McDonald does Charities of Saskatchewan. Family room, Victoria Hospital here in Prince Albert. Just building into the hospital now. After that, big thanks to Dave for all the cool. How's the day going, Dave?
Way to go, Graham!
Well, hey guys, how's everybody doing today? It's a beautiful day. Excuse me. Last night, my friends over here, I hope you guys all met Dave and Jane, good friends of mine. They kind of saved our butts, especially Jane. We were camping in Rosthern and the power went out, lightning was coming down, it was raining. It was really the only bad weather of the ride. Biked up from Rosthern up to Prince Albert. Had a wonderful reception at this amazing place called the Family Room. It's part of the Ronald McDonald House Charities of Saskatchewan. And these wonderful people, Tammy and Karen, and I'm going to apologize because I forget all these names, but just great people have put on this event today. And the reason for this whole bike ride, it started out as a ride called Minds Matter. And the idea was to raise money for the Alberta Children's Hospital Foundation for child and adolescent mental health. As some of you guys know, a couple of years ago I did a ride that really impacted me. It's called the National Kids Cancer Ride, and we rode from coast to coast from Vancouver to Halifax. And on that ride we met just some amazing kids, cancer survivors, kids with cancer, some really happy stories, some really sad stories. There was a little boy named Mason, and when I met Mason he was 5 and he had just been diagnosed with what's called AML. It's acute myeloid leukemia. It's just a really nasty form of childhood leukemia. And it was amazing because we met Mason in Saskatchewan on a cold September morning and we all cried the rest of the day. We rode from there down to Regina. It was a long ride and it was a tough day. And then amazingly, I was able to reconnect with Mason and his mom, Gail, who's with us here today. If you want to give us a wave, Gail. So Gail's just an amazing lady. So what happened was Mason actually spent time at the Alberta Children's Hospital having treatment there. And I found out through this amazing story, Mason for a while was declared cancer-free, and his mom went to the Garth Brooks concert in Calgary with a friend, and a friend made a sign saying, "My son's cancer-free." And Garth Brooks found out about that, and he signed his guitar, and he had a great chat with Gail, and he gave his guitar to Mason. Sadly, Mason, after about a month, he went home after a few weeks, and after about a month home, he became really sick, and he passed away last November. Sorry. So, anyways, he was just an amazing little guy. We got pictures where he just gave us just big hugs. He was just so full of love. So, just thinking, about doing the right for mental health, but also just all the families that have kids that face just horrendous circumstances, through health, and have to go through these terrible battles, just young kids, and the effect that has on their health mentally too, and oftentimes they go through just terrible surgeries and treatment, and so I just thought it's a really amazing connection through the Ronald McDonald House here and the Children's Hospital in Calgary. So I decided this year I wanted to ride, and I reached out to Gail, and she was just amazing. I didn't want to sort of step into your family, but she's, Graham, this is amazing. So we just had a great conversation, and I said, I'd like to, what charity? And she told me about this family room at the in Prince Albert. It was opened a couple of years ago, and they've had, correct me if I'm wrong, but I think you guys have had over 1,000 families use that facility in less than 2 years. Families from all over central and northern Saskatchewan. So, and when you think about a lot of these kids and their families, they come from small towns, from rural areas, from First Nations areas, and they come to Prince Albert, and their families would have to pay huge amounts of money for them to stay in hotels in awful circumstances. So they're looked after by these wonderful people at the family room. So Gail has done an amazing amount of work since Mason passed away to to fundraise and raise awareness of this family room. So this is kind of not the end of the journey. For me, it's just part of the journey. More stuff like this will happen, and again, I just want to thank all you folks from the Ronald McDonald House Charity. A big thanks to Gail. Thanks to Dave and Jane for saving me in the last couple of days when the headwind and the rain was getting rough. And thanks to all you guys. You're all part of an amazing family, and just feel so much love. So I don't know if you guys wanted to get up and say, Tammy, you want to say a few words? I've just blabbed on, rambled on as usual.
Well done, Graham.
Thanks.
Well, I think I'm with Ronald McDonald House Charities Saskatchewan. I look after the house in Saskatoon and ultimately the family room. Laura and Karen are also at the Ronald McDonald House in Saskatoon. We got to know Gail and her family quite intimately. Everyone did, from all of us to the security guards. I know.
The purpose of the tour was twofold: to raise money for a couple of incredible charities. It started with the Alberta Children's Hospital Foundation for their child and adolescent mental health program, which is a really important program in Alberta. Over 70% of people develop mental illness of some sort in their childhood and adolescence, and just want to raise awareness and money for that, and the great work that the Children's Hospital in Calgary does, and through the foundation there, obviously. And the second part was riding into Saskatchewan, was the ride in memory of Mason.
from Prince Albert, who passed away last year, age 7. So it was incredible to ride into Saskatchewan through the small towns and tell people in the grocery stores about what I was doing just through some small talk, and they quickly reached into their pockets and took their wallets out, a lot of people, and donated money to that cause. So it's just fabulous to see. Yeah, like I said the other day on the 5th when we arrived at Emma Lake, this isn't the end of the journey. It's definitely a little bit of a break in the bike riding, but it will continue into more adventures and more advocacy for children and adolescents with serious health issues, be they physical health issues or mental health issues. So thanks a lot for your support. It's really important, and it's really a foundation of what happens here. Without the fundraising and advocacy from you folks, my friends and family, I really couldn't get this kind of work done. So thank you. I appreciate it.